Welcome to Oklahoma Sports Scene, statewide on your view Cox Cable. Presented by Jimmy's Egg, your neighborhood breakfast place serving delicious food with friendly service. Hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln, along with the coaches here. J.B. Haney, of course, Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame athletic director, Gil Cloud. Guys, we've flipped the sports calendar now to October. We have a number of subjects to talk about. Our show lineup starts us with Thunder Up. We're going to have Brian Davis, the TV voice of the Oklahoma City Thunder, here to talk all kinds of things Thunder. And guys, they have really been in the news.
What exciting news for Oklahoma Thunder. Unbelievable. Really glad, and it gives them a great opportunity now to really compete.
Also, yeah.
And you know what's really important about that is how much of an impact it has on basketball from grade school all the way through college. So the Thunder has really done it for Oklahoma.
And we have Roughnecks wrapping up their regular season, hopefully heading to the playoffs. We'll have their head coach, David Vaudreuil, will be here. And then Ice Time, the Tulsa Oilers, they get their hockey season underway this month of October. We'll be talking with their head coach as well, Rob Murray, a first-year coach coming from Alaska to coach here in Tulsa. And then John Peterson will join us. He's their vice president of operations for the Tulsa Oilers. Also, we're going to wrap up with the Oklahoma Derby $400,000 race, the richest thoroughbred race in Oklahoma. Big surprise, a Hall of Fame trainer winning it. So we'll have all that for you with some of the highlights of that. But guys, we're going to start with our roundtable discussion. And let's start with a hot issue, of course, had that FBI hoop scandal. Coach, your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are that it's a long time in coming because the apparel companies have been involved with this. It started out with shoes, and it's gone now to the big ones, the three big ones, that provide that. And really the thing that we deal with every day at the interscholastic level, is the AAU. Totally out of control. Really, state by state, there's no state governing group that governs what those folks do. And I think the use of high school kids to get to that point is at a point where I hope this has an impact on that.
And JB, they said also this one and done has really helped stir this as well.
Yes, and what really bothers me about all of this is the money. And you go back and look at the coaches, and when they were not making several $1 million a year, things were a lot different. But once that came up, then what they have been doing is to get more. And I think economically that has been a very, very disastrous thing to college athletics.
Well, the FBI, when they subpoenaed people, they also have already charged now 10 people, including Oklahoma State assistant coach Lamont Evans. One of really staggering coaches. He was the highest paid assistant men's basketball coach in the history of the school, $600,000. They're charging him with taking bribes for $22,000.
I think what happens is you get into that mindset that the ego is there. I can deliver you this kid. I can deliver you that kid. I know this person. I know the aunt, the uncle. I know the agent, even though they shouldn't have agents when they're in high school. And they're able to, I think, take that and run with it, and the money is there, and so go ahead and take it.
Here's another hot item, guys, the national anthem. That's created all kinds of commotion from the White House to the playing fields, Coach.
Well, I don't think in any way that you can justify not doing what they ask you to do for the national anthem. Think about the number of men and women who have died in order that we could have that. And that, to me, should be the big issue, and not whether or not they're supporting me in my athletic program.
President Trump also withdrew his invitation for the Golden State Warriors to come to the White House. So there you go. All kinds of political action there. And, of course, we were up there, the Oklahoma Sports Scene group, Josh Stokes, along with Thomas Walking-Stick, myself, went to Oklahoma City Thunder Media Day. Guys, that was quite a show. I'll tell you, they know how to put on a show up there.
I can imagine. And what a great event for Oklahoma City and for Oklahoma.
No doubt about it. We're going to have, again, Brian Davis, the voice of Thunder, coming on here in just a moment to talk more about that media day and about all the big changes in the Thunder roster right now. So, guys, Red River Showdown. I know it's 2 weeks away, but our show taping fits into such that October 14th, Sooners and Longhorns meet again at the Cotton Bowl. Nothing like it in college football.
It's one of the great events in this part of the country, and when you look forward to that, I can remember when I was a freshman at OU in freshman football. And that week came up, and unfortunately, we got to scrimmage all the ones that didn't get to go. That was not fun on Friday. Matter of fact, we got beat up so bad that I came to Tulsa. I didn't go, even though I had tickets. But it's a great event. Texas is kind of an interesting commodity this year. Offensively, they don't play very well.
Yeah.
But defensively, they can play with just about anybody in the league and maybe this part of the country. So it's going to be interesting, the Oklahoma offense versus the Texas defense.
And it seems funny to me because as you look at it, it looks like one team, every year one team should be winning. But once they get there, it makes no difference. And I've had the privilege of going to a few games there. And most of the time I would get up and go up on the rim and just stand there because I didn't want to stand up at my seat. So the fans have a great time at the Texas-Oklahoma game.
75,587, split right down the middle, crimson, burnt orange. The game is now set for 2:30, which, by the way, is the first time since 2010, and they got in the middle of the night to play the damn game at 11 o'clock in the morning. So I'm happy about that. You got either ABC or ESPN. Oklahoma, Texas, nothing like it. In fact, it'll be the 112th meeting. Texas leads the series 61 to 45 to 5. The Sooners have won 5 of the last 7, including that 45-40 game last year that was right down to the end. Hey, but also, congratulations real quick to Sean Sutton, named the Texas Tech staff coach.
Great for Sean to get back into business. I think it's good for him, and he'll be good for basketball. I think Sean has done his time, and he'll be good to be back in the Big 12.
Coming up next on our Oklahoma Sports Scene, presented by Jimmy Zegg, it's the voice of Thunder, Ryan Davis, as we thunder up next.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lovers skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, it won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
Sammy, if you need me, I'll be at lunch.
And if you need me, I'll be in the kitchen.
In the kitchen?
Cooking up some hot summer deals.
Sammy, take that off. And I already came up with the deals anyway.
Right now, lease a 2017 Civic for $239 a month with 0 down. Or lease a 2017 Accord for just $299 a month with 0 down.
Did I say kitchen? I meant my office.
Oh, I know what you meant.
I need a grill.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Thoroughbreds.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Get artsy at the Oklahoma Classics Arts Festival with the Tipsy Artist Painting Party for charity, live Oklahoma thoroughbred racing, and more. October 20th.
We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock.
Only at Remington Park.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene, presented by Jimmy Zegg, with the Oklahoma City Thunder have gotten their season underway with an exhibition game in Tulsa on October 3rd. They begin their 10th season of NBA basketball here in the Sooner State. Joining us now is the voice, TV voice, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Brian Davis. Brian, great to have you with us in the studio, and welcome
to see you again. Thanks
Tulsa.
for having me.
Give us a bit of your background. I know it's been of course, every 10 years here with the Thunder, of course. But
Yeah, how about that?
wow,
Go figure, 10 years of NBA basketball here in the Southern Plains. You know, one of my favorite signs of all time sat in front of a church in Chicago in our neighborhood back in the day when we lived up in the Midwest.
Right.
And the sign said, "The surest sign of God is that he will lead you where you did not plan to go." Well, I did not plan to do this. I did not plan to be the voice of an NBA team. When I was younger and just starting out, I wanted to be in the news side, which I was for the first 10 years of my career. I wanted to write for the New York Times. So go figure. You know, we go from that to this, but in the end, I have lived my dream.
Well, you know, I don't know if anybody has experienced an offseason with the Thunder like this offseason. It's been amazing.
You know, I think you would be hard-pressed to find in any sport at any time an offseason like the Thunder put together. It started in July with the acquisition of Paul George and the trade with Indiana, and then right behind that, the free agent signings of Raymond Felton, a point guard, and a forward, Patrick Patterson from Toronto. And then you get right to the beginning of training camp, and comes the trade with the New York Knicks for Carmelo Anthony. And I think that you got to take your hats off to Sam Presti and his staff on the basketball operations side. You also have to take your hats off to Clay Bennett and the Thunder's ownership group for giving Sam the approval to do this, because this is a major financial commitment. This season is kind of go big or go home, but it sets up beautifully. In the snapshots that we've had so far of this team playing, it's going to be a very exciting season in Oklahoma City.
Well, when you take a look at it, Brian, it seems to me like that I have never seen anything had the impact on basketball through the state of Oklahoma, which we are a football state. But the Thunder has had that impact, I think, on basketball from the elementary up.
You know, JB, I wondered about how we would fit in that landscape when we first made that move to Oklahoma City in 2008. You're coming to a place where there's 100+ years of solid tradition in the collegiate ranks with Oklahoma and Oklahoma State particularly. So where would the NBA fit there? And in the end, one of the things that we found, it not only fits very, very well because it's a different beast, but the other thing is that, you know, it's about the Thunder. It's not OU, OSU is Hatfields and McCoys to me,
right,
you know, and the Thunder becomes the unifier in all of that. Everybody in the state, in fact, everybody in this region can cheer for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that's the way we've seen it play out. I do think that we came at a good time economically in this area. Things were happening. We were on the upswing. The Thunder helped to fuel that, no doubt. And I think, you know, everybody can just walk with a little extra something in their stride when they're walking down the street, knowing that, you know, we are an NBA region.
How's the mood of the team now? They put all these guys together. Training camp has started. How's that working?
Well, so far so good. You know, the thing is that with the additions of Paul George and then Carmelo Anthony, you add to that with Russell Westbrook, the MVP, set that triple-double record Gil last season. You have three of the very best players on the planet. And one of the things that I think, for me, Greg Popovich, the coach in San Antonio, talks about certain players that he says possess a certain kind of hunger, players who have maybe had to take a more difficult road to get to the NBA, players who maybe have been denied that last thing, which is the championship. Well, you've got, in all three of those team leaders, you've got a group of guys who have got a certain type of hunger. For a variety of reasons, they haven't been able to get to the mountaintop yet. They have an opportunity to do that here. And with the arrival of that talent in the locker room, then everybody else in the room, and again, I'll throw in the additions of Felton and Patterson to that, everybody in that room feels that something special could happen. Carmelo Anthony said last week that he felt like he's been born again. And I think when you walk into a locker room where there's that sense of anticipation that something really cool could come together this year, it makes it very easy to go to work, and it makes it very easy to kind of work through the stuff that this team will have to work through to get to that level.
And that has obviously an effect on the whole organization.
No question about it. I mean, we all feel it.
But
we all feel it.
Don't you think a lot of it, when Durant left, a new generation was born in basketball in Oklahoma.
Well,
and every one of those guys, I think, wanted to contribute. And with Anthony and George coming in, my goodness, what's it going to be like?
Every turning of the page is an opportunity. Players leave, players retire, players have their careers ended by injury, and every one of those moments is an opportunity to turn the page. I really appreciated the way our organization, both on the basketball side and the business side, embraced the opportunity as this team entered a new era a year ago. And in a way, when you look at the way last season played out, 6th in the West, not irrelevant. You know, this is still a playoff team. We kind of, in some ways, laid that new foundation so we can just continue to work off of that now with this new group.
And Brian, certainly big impact. We talk about Paul George. Carmelo Anthony was huge. But nothing was bigger than the end of September with Russell Westbrook saying, I want to stay here and sign for 5 more years. Wow.
What was it Clay Bennett said after Russell went to the dotted line? You know, if you went to the drawing board and kind of created a player who would be the perfect, like kind of the archetypical Oklahoma City Thunder player, the guy that you would come up with is Russell Westbrook. He has never wavered in his pledge that this is where he wants to be. I think people sense that. You know, Russell's a different kind of guy. He keeps his own counsel in a lot of ways. But when he speaks, you have to listen to him. And when he speaks, you have to believe him. Russell is a guy who, when he first came in the door here at age 18, he had a pretty good sense of who he was about and what he was about, who he was and what he was about. And as he has matured, that thread that kind of binds his character hasn't changed.
We're going to come back with much more on the Oklahoma City Thunder and the impact of Russell Westbrook, not just this season, but for the future of Thunder basketball. Continue on the Oklahoma Sports Scene, brought to you by Jimmy's Egg.
We were trying to think of an impressive commercial to introduce new premium peppered pork belly at Billy Sims Barbecue. Cat videos are popular, so we thought maybe.
Kitty, kitty, are you hungry? What would you like?
Premium peppered pork belly.
From where?
Billy Sims. But that didn't really work, so we'll just say this. Introducing premium peppered pork belly at Billy Sims Barbecue. The most tender cut of pork. Slow smoked on site every day for a rich bacony kind of flavor. Only at Billy Sims Barbecue.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Hi, welcome to Journey Fitness.
Journey Fitness is your locally owned gym located in Bixby. Enjoy 24/7 access to a clean, friendly, staffed facility. Journey Fitness has limited memberships available to ensure waiting to use equipment is a thing of the past. Our trainers are second to none, no matter your goals.
My journey is 24/7.
My journey is driven.
No matter your journey, fitness is ours. Come join us.
We're back on Oklahoma Sports Scene, presented by Jimmy Zegg with Brian Davis again, the TV voice. The Oklahoma City Thunder. One thing I was struck by when they announced Russell Westbrook had signed the 5-year deal, immediately Paul George said, yes, this will have an impact on me. And I think, Carmelo, we were so worried about one and done with maybe all three at one point, Brian.
Well, and that will all kind of play out, Chris, the way that it will. At this point, there's nothing short of either of those guys signing an extension before the middle of October, right before the beginning of the regular season. There's nothing you can do about that. But I've always felt that, again, players who are made up like those men are, the most important thing to them is to win. They want to win. And if you win enough games, if you win at a high enough level, all the rest of that stuff takes care of itself. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to show up at the arena from night to night and just enjoy myself, because it is going to be quite the ride.
Well, you've seen, obviously, the greats of the NBA. Russell Westbrook just seems to be at a different warp speed. It's just amazing to me, Brian, to watch him.
There are times when I'll go back home after a game and I'll watch our broadcast again. And he'll make one of those bursts down the lane, and I'll say to myself, well, BD, you kind of undersold that, because to see it, from that high camera level, sometimes it's way more impressive than if you're just down on the floor. Now, it's plenty impressive when you're just down on the floor, but he's got that quality about him that you see him do things, cross guys over, break their ankles, that God sham God, dribble of his that he rolled out last year. I'm sitting here as we go into this season thinking, what next? Because he is like any highly motivated, top-shelf professional. He doesn't want to rest on what he's already got. He wants to build on what he's got. And so I suspect that there are a couple of things that we'll see in 17-18 that we haven't seen yet.
It seemed to me like when Durant left, that created a new energy in Westbrook, that he was going to do things maybe that he had not done when Durant was there. And I thought that the way he played was just incredible.
Well, I think one of the things that happened, JB, was that when Kevin went to Golden State, now this is indisputably Russell Westbrook's team. And I think he embraced that. And there were times when he did what he needed to do to give the Thunder its best chance to win a game on a given night. But at the same time, he didn't do that to the exclusion of his teammates. He didn't abandon the other guys on the floor with him, just to get his own thing done. He continues to work with his teammates on the floor and in the locker room, where he's become a leader that Billy Donovan can't say enough about. So I think Russell, again, turning the page, we talked a little while ago, turning the page presents an opportunity, and it presented an opportunity for Russell, and he grabbed that and wrote it.
How's this going to play out with the coaching staff with all of this talent? And substitution and who plays where and so on and so on.
They won basketball.
I'm glad you asked that, Gil, because see, I'm a big fan of Billy Donovan, and I think this year we'll see yet another dimension of his skill and his talent as a head coach with the guys on his staff working with him. Billy has said from day one, talking particularly now about the offense, he wants the Thunder to play in such a way that the ball moves, bodies move, you're setting screens, you're pulling the defense apart, and you're not necessarily looking for the best shooter, you're looking for the best shot in a given moment. This team now is dynamic, it's flexible. You got Raymond Felton running the point with the second group, and he is an enormously talented player. And we've, I went back and looked at his numbers in games against Oklahoma City, and he usually saves a little something special for the Thunder, but now we've got that on our side. And so Billy and his staff will be able to mix and match in a given situation. They'll be able to do things, for instance, I'll just pull one out of my hat. They'll be able to take Carmelo Anthony maybe, who will play power forward primarily, but maybe against Golden State, he'll be able to go to center and play against Draymond Green when the Warriors are playing small. There is a lot of opportunity to use different combinations. And I'll say this, that the Thunder may have a couple of moments where maybe the Thunder loses a game early in the season when Billy is trying to get things kind of squared away and these guys are still getting used to one another. But maybe you lose that game on a given night so that you can be the best version of yourself when you get to the playoffs and head into the postseason.
What I always told him was, it's not where you start out, it's where you end.
That's exactly right.
Ryan, great day with us. We have a presentation for him, right, Coach?
Yes, we do.
That's right.
Ryan, I guarantee you, one of our great sponsors, presenting sponsors, Jimmy's Egg. And I know those late nights that you get in, for those, Jimmy's Egg will be a great place for you to go.
You go, Brian.
Thank you, Gil. Judy and I are actually no strangers to Jimmy's Egg in Oklahoma City, so we will use this well and wisely.
Thank you.
10 locations in Oklahoma City. By the way, the Thunder Open against the New York Knicks at home will be their 300th consecutive South. Great support for the Thunder. By the way, we had a great time at Oklahoma City Thunder Media Day. Up there with Josh Stokes, with Thomas Walking Stick. We present to you now the sights and sounds of the Oklahoma City Media Day.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lover's skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, you won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
Celebrate your home today at Bowen's Discount Carpet for our Shop and Compare sale. Take advantage of our guaranteed lowest prices you can find, great deals on new Shaw floors, and a huge variety of brands and colors that you will have to see to believe. Let Shaw Floors spice up your space, along with 36 years of experience, and the beauty of your floors will shine. Come out to Bowen's, where we refuse to be undersold.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene, and we want to recognize Forrest Cameron here and the Greater Tulsa Recorder. He has 6 of these in the metro area. So wherever you live in metropolitan Tulsa, you can get a GTR. And we would encourage you to pick up one and read it, and I think you will be picking up one every month from that point on.
Another special guest on Oklahoma Sports Scene, and glad to have him with us. He's the first-year coach, and what a great job he's done at the Tulsa Roughnecks, all the way from France himself. David Vaudreuil, how about that, David?
Very
Not
good.
bad. Give us some of your background, David.
I'm from Connecticut, born in Hawaii, but grew up in Connecticut, played every sport under the sun, and went 4 years to Princeton, and then I've been basically playing or coaching pro soccer ever since.
And internationally, where's it taken you?
I played a year in Mexico. We've been to Tokyo Olympic Stadium. I've played in Italy, played in Mexico, obviously a bunch of times, and all over the United States.
Well, what did you think about coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Well, you know, I knew about the Roughnecks. I remember seeing Soccer Bowl when they won Soccer Bowl back there, so very used to the soccer background, the history here, you know, a big time history here. I had been here once before. I had a friend who asked me to come in for 2 weeks to run a soccer camp, so I got to see the town and meet the people. But other than that, didn't know too much. I spent 4 months in Oklahoma City with the team last year, so that was my first real time in Oklahoma, but it's been a great experience. The people have been fantastic, and the soccer's been good, so I can't complain.
And who's the first person you met when you came to Tulsa?
First person I met was Victor Moreland. I walked into Lefties after a game here at One Oak Field and figured I'd be the nondescript guy and just slide up to the bar and hang out and wait. And I ran right into Victor and we said hello and I had to buy him a beer, of course.
Of course. Absolutely. So how's the adjustment, you know, playing on a baseball facility and having the sod brought in and taken out and brought in, does that give you a really good surface?
You know, it's been good, and it's difficult because these guys are turning around sometimes a day and a half. If they're lucky, they get 2 or 3 days. You know, you'll see pieces of it tear up, but in general, the field's been in great condition. I mean, they work real hard at it. They've got it down to a science. It's not a big factor. I can't really remember when I said, hey, this is a problem. The rest of the field is in perfect shape. The dimensions aren't bad. It's not as long and quite as big as you'd like it to be for a full-fledged soccer field, but there's plenty of pro teams in baseball fields. It's something that everyone's used to, and it doesn't really seem to have much of an effect in the game. So it's a great facility.
That gives you an advantage?
I think it gives an advantage because it's a good home field that we're used to, and the grass plays really well. It's a little bit different from every other stadium, and I think we have a huge home field advantage.
And it seems to me like attendance-wise that you're increasing it every year. I mean, they're just better fans and more dedicated fans than we had at one time.
You know, even this year, it seems to be getting better and better. The fans, you know, we've worked real hard in the community on both sides of the house, the Anglo side and the Latin side. You know, we've got a real diverse mix of players, and the results, we've been, you know, up until the other night, we had won 5 in a row at home, so the results are there. We did have, like everyone in town, we had a little bit of problem with weather. We had, I think, the first 2 or 3 Saturdays, we had a lot of weather, rain all day. And that hurt us a little bit. I think we would have had a real big bump at home if we hadn't had a couple of rain dates. But it's definitely growing. The atmosphere in the stadium is getting better and better. And I think now they realize that we're 1 game away from clinching a playoff spot, and that, you know, people are paying attention, and they're starting to realize that, you know, with Corrales signing with the Chicago Fire, they're realizing that there's some high-level players on the field.
Well, 2 regular season games to wind things up the next couple of Saturdays, and the playoffs, and it looks good for the playoffs. Right?
Yeah, we go to Phoenix tomorrow, play Phoenix, and then 2 Saturdays in a row at home. So out of those 3, we have to win 1. And if the results go our way, it could be, you know, 2 points or 1 point to tie. But we expect to make the playoffs. We hope to do it right away and do it in style and do it, and you know, have a couple of weeks to kind of, you know, rest somebody or to plan for the playoffs. But we're in great shape. We expect to qualify, and then you know, all the best teams in the league we've beaten. So we expect to go far into the playoffs.
You have some of the players that has come along much quicker and are much stronger now than it was at the beginning of the season that you're proud of?
Well, you know, our number 1 goal scorer, the big guy up front, Ian Svanteson, you know, he didn't play at all last year, so he's pretty much a rookie, and he's come out and scored 11 or 12 goals and been player, you know, team of the week and team of the month a couple of times. So he's progressed pretty rapidly. He's still got a long ways to go, as he would tell you, the first one to tell you. But hey, he's our leading goal scorer. He's at 6'6". The guy moves really well. He's fast. His technique is getting better and better. And you know, he's been the glaring guy that you say, wow, what an improvement this year.
And you don't see many 6'6" soccer players.
That's right.
Do you?
I keep telling them, don't post up in front of the basket. You got to turn and face and get to the back post.
Coach, you have a presentation to make here.
I did, but I don't have the card. However,
We have cards.
where's our card?
And there's a card back
There's that card.
She took our cards
He
away.
took our card.
There we go. Other side, Coach.
Where's our card?
What a team.
For being a guest with us, we want you to go to Jimmy's Egg. They're our presenting sponsor.
Great.
You can
Thank
have
you.
breakfast
There you go,
there.
Coach.
They're really great food, and
Wonderful.
I'm sure you'll really enjoy that.
Get out and support
Thank you
the
very
Roughnecks. We hope they're heading for the playoffs, as Coach said, and out there and support them, folks. We're going to go from the pitch to the ice. Tulsa Oilers. And we'll talk to them next on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
D'Angelo Brewer, Central High School, Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's cool to think about the fact that I grew up in this city. I was born here, I've played football here my whole life, and my family is here. I grew up in the shadows of the stadium, and now I play in front of the city of Tulsa every Saturday. I don't think people outside of this city truly appreciate Tulsa. It's like we're hidden here in Oklahoma. That's why I love playing here. I'm playing for Tulsa, and I'm putting our city on the map.
As we're in October on Oklahoma Sports Scene, time to look to the ice and talk hockey. Tulsa Oilers getting ready to get their season underway here. We're happy to have joining us now John Peterson, Vice President of Communications of the Oilers, brand new head coach coming from Alaska to join the Oilers with us now, Rob Murray. First, let's start with you, John. Just a little idea, overview of what gets going with the season here, ticket sales, and what do you think for this now 10th season to be okay, right?
Yeah, I don't want to jinx anything, but we've had such great support with our ticket sales and just the support in the Tulsa community. Last year, we finished third out of 27 teams in attendance in the ECHL. We had over 6,000 fans in the BOK Center every night for our 36 home games. This year, going into the season, we lead the league in season ticket sales right now. So the support's been great here in Tulsa, and I think that's long-standing. So we're excited about the season starting here in 11 days.
What does it mean to be able to play in a facility like the BOK?
We're very lucky. I mean, if you ask a lot of the players that come in here and players that have played for us in the past even, we probably have the nicest or one of the top 3 nicest arenas in the entire league. Very much close to an NHL type of rink, seating 17,000 people. It's a great facility. It's probably, Rob could probably tell you, it probably helps with recruiting a little bit, telling these guys, hey, we're playing in an NHL caliber rink. So this is year number 10 now since the BOK Center's open that we've had a chance to play there.
You know, the thing that always amazes me is you talk about 6,000 average team attendance. At times it's more than that. Very few times it's less than that. But the fans in hockey are truly dedicated fans.
Absolutely, and there's a huge reason that hockey's lasted so long in Tulsa, and it is because of the passion here in this community. This is going to be the 66th season of hockey in Tulsa. It dates all the way back to 1928. A few breaks in between, but this is 26 straight years now of hockey without any breaks, and it really is a testament to this community and the fans that we have. We sold out a game last year in March, which is, I think, the first time since opening night 10 years ago that we sold out the building, and it was just really, really cool to see that kind of support. And this team really fed off of that atmosphere.
So, Coach Murray, all you got to do now is get us to the playoffs. Welcome, Rob.
Thank you.
Give us some of your background in hockey.
Well, I played 16 years, over 120 games in the NHL. I played over 1,000 games in the American Hockey League. I was inducted into the American Hockey League Hall of Fame last season, which is a select few at this point. And I hold, I'm second overall ever for penalty minutes in the American Hockey League. So that's something that I hold true to my heart, or dear to my heart. I've been coaching now. I started in Providence of the American Hockey League. I was there for 5 years as an assistant. I was 3 years as a head coach. From there, I moved on to Alaska in the ECHL, and I was there for 6 years. First 3 years, we won the Bramham Cup, which is the regular season championship. And in my third year, we won the Kelly Cup, which is the grand championship. So I had a good run there. The team folded at the end of last season, and I had a chance to come here. When the job opened up, I got in touch with Taylor Hall right away, and we got conversing, and it's history now. Yeah.
Well, we'll go to our hockey player here. The old crowd. I don't know if people realize, Gil, you were on skates for a while.
I learned how to play when we lived in Saskatoon.
That's right.
And we moved to Tulsa, and that was one of the lapses in there. 62 to 64, yep. They didn't have any hockey, and so we didn't get to play. But we're excited about this season coming up. And tell us about your training camp and your roster and where you stand right now with that.
Well, right now we started this morning, and October 1st was our physicals. October 2nd was the first day on the ice. I think that we've got a good group of players. I think from the sifting out of what was left on the roster of last year, and what I came to find out from some of the veteran guys that I talked to and got some input on where and who I should go after to bring back for this season. We have, on top of that, a bunch of free agent signings and guys out of college that are coming in and competing for a job. We have guys that are going to be sent down from our affiliate in St. Louis.
Pay no attention to the sign.
Yeah, and so then it's a very competitive training camp. I think that there's no reason to think that anybody could be taken out of spot with the schedule, or not the schedule, but the season that the team had last season. Nobody's safe.
What affiliation do you have as a farm team, and how will that help?
Well, we're with St. Louis this season, and it's a unique situation because they have decided not to have an American League hockey farm team, and they have no affiliate in the American Hockey League. Now, they are dispersing their players between Chicago of the AHL and San Antonio of the AHL, yet they don't have a permanent AHL team. So I would hope, in theory, there's a trickle down that we get some nice players coming our way, and that they end up in Tulsa.
John, you're going to be the voice again of the Oilers, and this time all over the air radio.
Yes, first time in over a decade. We're very excited. We're going to be on the Sports Animal family
Excellent.
of networks, family of radio stations here. So.
And we have some gifts for him here, Coach.
Hey, Jimmy's Egg is
right.
our title sponsor, and we certainly want to hope that you go by and tell them that you've been on the Oklahoma Sports
Absolutely.
Scene. You enjoy it.
We will.
Thank you. Don Peterson, Vice President of Communications, and our new head coach of the Oilers, Rob Ray. Get out and support the Oilers. Again, they'll hit the ice their first home game October 13th against Kansas City. Back with a lot more, including a recap of the Oklahoma Derby coming up.
It's got to be real barbecue, right? Not some frozen meat cooked who knows where, who knows when, and then trucked in. No, it's got to be the finest cuts. It's got to be a lot of choices, like 9 different meats. It's got to be fast for dine-in, carry-out, or catering. It's got to be smoked fresh right there that day over aged pecan wood. It's got to be the place where all the barbecue wannabes take a back seat, because they can't compete. It's got to be real barbecue, right? It's got to be Billy Sims.
Billy Sims Barbecue. Eat like a champion today.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the Thoroughbreds.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Get artsy at the Oklahoma Classics Arts Festival with the Tipsy Artist Painting Party for charity, live Oklahoma thoroughbred racing, and more. October 20th.
We're gonna rock till broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock.
Only at Remington Park.
On the final Sunday of September, the Oklahoma Derby is run at Remington Park in Oklahoma City. It's Oklahoma's richest thoroughbred race. Grade 3, $400,000. Mile and 8 for 3-year-olds. An impressive field of 8. In fact, of the 8, 3 of them raced in the Kentucky Derby this year. We had Untrapped, Battle of Midway, and Gervin all ran in the Remington Park feature race, the Oklahoma Derby. Now for the call of that race, we'll pick it up. The voice of racing there, Dale Day.
Oklahoma Derby Day 2017 at Remington Park was a rousing success, drawing a larger crowd than a year ago and the greatest collection of horse talent ever presented on one racing program in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma Derby Day is full of festivities for fans, including live music, a wine tasting, and of course, the Derby Day hat and tie style contest. Everything was rolling in high gear for the crowd, who were ready for big-time stakes racing action, and they were not disappointed. National Hall of Fame trainer Steve Asmussen has never won the Grade 3 $400,000 Oklahoma Derby, having started 21 horses previously with no trophy. That streak ended this year when Michael Langford's Untrapped rolled home under Ricardo Santana. Inside Untrapped, looking for room, and Untrapped now rolling. At the furlong pole, race on! In the Oklahoma Derby, it's Battle of Midway on top. Untrapped, full of steam, going on. Untrapped, Battle of Midway. These two, and Untrapped has too much. Steve Asmussen will win his first Derby. Untrapped on top by 2. An exuberant Santana, Asmussen's big race jockey nationally, celebrated for his trainer as he and Untrapped crossed the finish. Prior to the Derby, the $200,000 Remington Park Oaks featured Grade 1 winner and 2016 Eclipse Award-winning 2-year-old filly, Champagne Room. She was making only her second start since winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies race last fall, and she was ready to dominate. The champion, Champagne Room, is free on the front. She's rolling on by 4. All out, ever so clever, can't cut to the margin. Gutierrez and Champagne Room measure perfectly, taking the Remington Park Oaks by 4. Champagne Room became the first Eclipse Award winner and Grade 1 winner to win a race at Remington Park. Finally, Remington Park sprint star Ivan Falanavalot locked up another local title by easily handling his foes and winning the $150,000 David M. Vance Sprint, named in honor of Remington Park's founding president and general manager. It's Ivan Falanavalot by 5. Can he make the record? He's clear by 4. Ivan Falanavalot, 3-time champion sprinter at Remington Park by 3. Ivan Falanavalot won his 4th consecutive Vance Sprint and is a shoo-in to be the Remington Park champion sprinter for a 3rd straight year. Racing continues now Wednesday through Saturday at 7 p.m. here at Remington Park with the next big race night event, the $1 million Oklahoma Classics for the Oklahoma bred thoroughbreds on Friday night, October 20th. At Remington Park in Oklahoma City, I'm Dale Day. Now back to Sports Scene.
So Untrapped wins the Oklahoma Derby and wins it by a length and 3/4, almost a stakes record time, 1:48.62, just off the stakes record. Untrapped sent off by the bettors at 11-1 odds and returned a nice $24.60 on a $2 win ticket. The owner, Michael Langford of Jonesboro, Arkansas, the winning jockey, Ricardo Santana Jr., who won 4 races on the card that day. By the way, the winning trainer, an old friend of mine, Steve Asmussen. Now, Steve is a Hall of Fame thoroughbred trainer. He's won multiple Breeders' Cup races, classic races. He is a 12-time champion trainer at Remington Park. But guess what? He's been 0 for 21 in the Oklahoma Derby. So it meant a lot for him to finally win this race. Steve Asmussen winning with Untrapped in the Oklahoma Derby. Remington Park's thoroughbred racing season will continue through December 17th. The race Wednesday through Saturday at 7 o'clock. The next big race, Oklahoma Classics, run on Friday evening, October 13th. Back on our Oklahoma sports scene, brought to you by Jimmy Zaig, and a great friend of sports here in Oklahoma. And we call him he is the master when it comes to baseball. Anything baseball is Wayne McCombs. But he's there for something else too. It's involved in a lot of charities. One of my old buddies, a big charity event coming up. Wayne, tell us about it and welcome.
Well, thank you very much. It's the Bob Carpenter Golf Tournament, which is coming up on October the 16th, Monday. It's played at Meadowbrook Country Club in Tulsa. They're on 81st between Mingo and Memorial. And this is his 10th year of raising money for the Operation Hope ministry in Tulsa. That's a ministry that helps people when they are released from incarceration, helps them get a job, helps them find a place to live, things like finding furniture for them, bus passes, to help them get back into society where they don't go back.
Yeah. You know, the great thing about the golf tournament, Wayne, to me, I always go, is the fact that it's almost like a baseball convention, isn't it?
Well, of course, Bob, being the voice of the Washington Nationals Major League Baseball Club, he brings in a lot of his friends to come in and help support. This year we have Tom Pagnozzi, used to be a catcher with the Cardinals and the Giants, and a big supporter of Bob's ministry. We also have Steve Rogers, the former great All-American and Hall of Famer from the University of Tulsa. He's going to be there. And then also we've got Steve Largent coming by, Dave Rader, a lot of other players. George Frazier, our friend from Tulsa, of course, the longtime broadcaster with the Colorado Rockies. He's going to be there. So it's a great day of fun and talking about, you know, the baseball of the past, plus raising money for a great cause here in Tulsa.
Well, the tournament's October 16th in Meadowbrook, but the night before, big event too.
Oh, they have, that's when he has a giant auction of sports memorabilia.
Great
and
stuff.
It is great material. We have baseballs from all over the Major League Baseball circuit. We have some Mickey Mantle items, a lot of Cardinal material.
All that's for Big Al Jerkins, right?
Well, Big Al is one of the guests that's going to be there.
Oh, sure, he loves his Yankees.
And Al, we have, you know, if the Yankees are going well in the playoffs, you know,
right.
Al's
Good for
wallet
us.
seems to open up a little quicker. So, but one of the gifts we have is a Santa and Mrs. Santa visit to your home on Christmas
How about
Eve.
that, see?
It's a really, so there's a lot of other things to be auctioned off other than just autographed baseballs by some of the great players.
Wayne, how can
today.
somebody get involved with the golf tournament and the auction and everything?
Well, they can just call Meadowbrook Country Club. The Sunday evening event is the pairings party, and that's open to people to come. And of course, we'd like for you to bid on items, but there's a lot of fun there. And then also at the golf tournament on Monday, after the when the players come in about 1:30 from playing and have lunch, we have another auction for also some sports memorabilia. So it's going to be a great time. And then also on the Sunday night pairing and also the lunch on the 16th, they bring in, I guess you would call graduates of the prison ministry that come in,
nice.
that people that have been helped by this. They talk about their life, how it's become together with this help, with finding a place to live, finding a job, and going to church and things like that to help them recover and be a productive citizen again.
Fantastic.
These guys well know I go back a long ways with Bob Carpenter. He and I, of course, Channel 8 together, and Roughnecks together and stuff.
Right.
And great time. And Bob does a great job with this and with the Nationals. In fact,
Well,
will
his
Bob
son-
be able to come to his tournament? The Nationals, of course, are one of the big favorites.
Of course, they're in the
That's right, in the
playoffs.
playoffs.
And according to the schedules, now this is barring rainouts, Bob
Right.
will be there on Monday.
Yeah.
If things go a full series, you know, a full 5 games
Yeah.
and all that, and full 7 games in the series, he will be off on their ball game is Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
So he probably won't be there for that evening, but he will be there for that Monday golf tournament. Now, let me tell you about his golf tournament. The secret to his golf tournament is Debbie Carpenter, his wife.
Yeah, of course.
She's
Debbie,
the one that holds this together while Bob's out flying around with Bryce Harper, you know, this type of stuff. So.
You got another event that all of us enjoy coming to up at Claremore, Rogers State University, and do a great job with that Field of Dreams. Always one of the great ways to kind of start the baseball season for everybody here, Wayne.
Well, thank you. I was put on the committee to try to help the ballpark, and you know they have work days, and I'm not a guy that's going to be there with a hammer, driving nails in and getting it straight, or you know hanging new netting or something like that. So I thought, well, how can I help? And I thought, well, maybe we could have a banquet and have some players come and have some fun. Well, this year it is January the 22nd. It'll be at the Claremore Convention Center, and our guest this year for the 14th year is Phil Niekro,
Oh, wow.
a Hall of Fame pitcher from
Sure.
the Atlanta Braves. So we're real excited about Phil Niekro coming to the Field of Dreams this year.
Let's talk some baseball now. Of course, we're into the playoffs, a great Major League season, and I guess we have first to talk about heck of a driller season, too. Just heartbreak at the end, but
one of the biggest heartbreaks in Tulsa baseball history.
I know, just
they stay in the middle of the year. They were kind of 500 all
Yeah.
year and just kind of walking through. They had some good players, and then all of a sudden, when they brought in their new manager, Scott Hennessy, they took off like a house of fire.
Won the North, 44-26.
They have the second best record for a second half in driller history, and they set the all-time record. Tulsa baseball started in 1905 for most consecutive games at home at 16, and they went crazy. They went and defeated Northwest Arkansas, which had been a nemesis to them over the years, beating Tulsa out a couple of times for division playoffs. And then they faced Midland. Now, Midland did not have a great year. In fact, they had to qualify as sort of a wild card team. San Antonio won the first and second half.
Wow.
So according to the rules, they have somebody to play. The team that came in second in the second half of the season, and Midland had to win the last 3 games to do that. and then they go and barely beat San Antonio, and they're down 0-2 to Tulsa. It's the best of 3 series. Tulsa had 3 games at home, and every one of those games were a heartbreaker, just a heartbreaker.
That last one, 1-0 unearned run in the first inning for the championship.
And that was it. And they had runners in scoring position, and it just wasn't there. But it was really, really exciting. The games they had good attendance. Fans were into the game. Every pitch was, people were on it. So it was really fun to see that again in Tulsa baseball.
Well, you talk about fans. That was the greatest number of fans in the playoffs that I have seen in Tulsa.
Well, they came there. It was the one game on the Friday night, which was amazed me because of high school football.
I was about to say, I was there for that. Yeah,
I couldn't believe, but Union, I think, Broken Arrow out of town, which probably helped. But that was the 3rd all-time largest playoff game in Tulsa history. So I mean, this goes back 112 years. So it shows well that as you know, Coach, Tulsa is a baseball town. The fans know good play. They applaud a sacrifice bunt just like they do a home run. So Tulsa is very healthy in professional baseball.
Well, and they did all that, Wayne, when they changed managers in the middle of the year.
Yes. I talked to Mr. Hennessy a couple of times. What an enthusiastic man, an old-fashioned baseball manager. And so anyway, I'm hoping, and I think the Drillers are too, that he'll be assigned back to Tulsa to start the season off with Tulsa.
I think one of the things we saw in the second half was there wasn't as much jockeying up and down of the players. The roster stayed pretty constant.
Right. Now, although that's true, they still had, I think they had 72 players on the team and not much consistency, on that. But the second half of the last month or so, they did. We sort of had a set lineup that used maybe only about 11 position players, and it worked out great. Of course, having the Texas League Player of the Year and Matt Beatty didn't hurt.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Wayne, the 113th World Series starts October 24th on Fox. Who's your World Series team?
Well, I tell you what, the 2 of the wild card teams I don't think have a chance. One would be Minnesota, and one would be Colorado because of their pitching. But all the other teams that are left, I think if they get hot, they could win it all. Cleveland looks really, really strong in the American League. The Yankees could be there if their hitting keeps up. They have very good starting pitching. They have amazing bullpen. But if they don't move runners along, if they're not hitting homers, they gotta move the runner along, scratch, and take the sacrifice fly when they can. But the Dodgers look they look very, very good. So I would guess right now it would be the Dodgers and Cleveland.
When we come to your Field of Dreams, you always give us a gift card. We have one for you here too.
Oh,
yes. Jimmy Zegg is our corporate partner.
Great place to eat.
And we certainly wanted you to enjoy Jimmy
There you go,
for a breakfast.
Thank you.
Before we go to the break,
I don't have to pay JV, do I?
No. Thanks again. And hope that people support Bob Carpenter's golf tournament too.
October 16th, you can come. If you don't play, you can come out and watch.
Sure.
And you can come out and bid.
Have some fun.
That's
Appreciate
right.
it. Thank you, Wayne, so much.
You're welcome.
Let's talk some high school football, Coach. What
Absolutely.
an incredible game. Union Owasso, oh my gosh.
Another typical shootout, except the players were a little different this time.
Yeah, that's right. Wow.
It's usually Union Jinx, but it was Union Owasso this time. But double overtime, 44-41, field goal to win it in the end. And, Owasso tried to score the touchdown from the one on 2 different tries and didn't get in. And then another big game over in the west side of the state was Lawton and Putnam City. Putnam City was undefeated, and Lawton comes in and beats them 27-21. So that was 2 big games last weekend. Big games this week. Number 6 Moore plays Union, and that's at Moore. That'll be a road trip for Union. And then number 1 Booker T is at Muskogee. Number 9 Muskogee, and number 2 Midwest City plays number 4 Choctaw. And that'll be a big game on the west side between those two and 6A2. Bishop McGinnis plays Carl Albert. That's number 3 against number 1. Unbelievable matchup. In 3A is kind of an off week. Unranked Webster plays Berry Hill number 1, and Berry Hill is really on a roll right now in 3A. McLeod plays number 2 Jones, and Jones is the same way on the west side. Alcord and Victory Christian play in 2A. We have Crescent and Cashion in 1A, and 8-man Arkansas Christian plays Destiny Christian.
And we have parting shots right after this final break on Oklahoma Sportscene.
Welcome to Jimmy's Egg. Come on in.
For more than 30 years, Jimmy's Egg has been starting people's day off right with hot, fresh, made-to-order food. Our eggs are fresh, cracked to order every time, and there are over 40,000 ways to craft your own omelet. With signature favorites like our meat lovers skillet or decadent cinnamon roll pancakes, you won't leave hungry. Breakfast and lunch is available every day from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., so stop in today and let our friendly staff serve you.
Stop by and see us sometime.
Sammy, if you need me, I'll be at lunch.
And if you need me, I'll be in the kitchen.
In the kitchen?
Cooking up some hot summer deals.
Sammy, take that off. And I already came up with the deals anyway.
Right now, lease a 2017 Civic for $239 a month with 0 down. Or lease a 2017 Accord for just $299 a month with 0 down.
Did I say kitchen? I meant my office.
Oh, I know what you meant.
I need a grill.
Chase is forcing a turnover in front of Chance, back in and they score!
It's time on Oklahoma Sports Scene for parting shots, and Coach Cloud leads us off. Gil?
You know, we talk a lot about the honor of the flag and the kneeling and all that business. One of the things that I want to talk about is we need to think more about what our student athletes are thinking and the role models that we have at the upper levels and in all programs. I don't think it's appropriate. I think we need to make sure that they learn what they need to learn about honoring our country and move on down the road.
I would like just to honor my most favorite football player, Barry Sanders, Oklahoma State University. When he scored a touchdown, he laid the ball down and went to the bench. He wasn't trying to beat on his chest, beat on his helmet, running over and asking the fans to applaud for him. He had scored his touchdown, he goes to the bench. He did the same thing when he got into professional football, playing for the Detroit Lions. So Barry Sanders, you're my favorite, always will be.
Mine is on Russell Westbrook. You know, he signed, of course, that big extension, the 5-year contract with the Oklahoma City Thunder on September 29th. Mick Cornett, the mayor of Oklahoma City, declared it Russell Westbrook every day. Understand why. He just signed a contract with $233 million. That means in the final year of the contract, Russell Westbrook will earn $568,000 per game. And he also has a little 10-year contract with Michael Jordan for shoes. By the way, Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player ever, his first season, he made $500,000 total. Things have changed a bit. Guys, we have some big shows coming up, including, looking forward to this, Oklahoma State Athletic Director Mike Holder will be here for our next show, October 18th for the show.
I think Mike Holder's got a lot of things on his plate right now.
He does indeed.
And we're hopefully looking forward to what he feels like is going to happen with Oklahoma State basketball and football.
Well, I feel the same way. What is happening at OSU, maybe we will get some kind of answer before the public does.
Let's keep those Cowboys rolling in the top 20 in this college football for sure. And a reminder, if you hope we'll ask some questions about Mike Holder, you can ask him, just send them in to us. That's at #AskOKSportsScene. We'll get those questions to Mike Holder. Thanks for joining us on Jimmy Zaig's Oklahoma Sports Scene. See you next time.